Some of the most important, powerful, and influential people in the world have some of the most impressive, enormous, lethal security agencies, forces, or special units that can exist. These political leaders, businessmen, monarchs, or celebrities can change the lives of millions and millions of people for better or worse with the decisions they make. Therefore, their integrity and that of their families is extremely important. These soldiers, police officers, or guards train for many years to be the ones chosen to cover the back and sacrifice their lives for that of a VIP. In some cases, we cannot see them, or we only see a few. But in reality, there are hundreds of people on monitors and in the distance, watching every step, word, and action of the leader and everything around him. That's their magic, staying in the shadows and acting when necessary. Great power leads to great responsibility. But rather, I would say that great power leads to a large number of enemies, and therefore also leads to obtaining a huge army to protect you. Get ready to meet some of the most protected people in the world. Being the president of China, it is not surprising that Xi Jinping is well guarded. Him and the other leaders of the Communist Party are protected by an elite guard unit called the Central Security Office. To this day, its leader Wang Xiaojun's most public appearance was in 2015 when he attended to a White House banquet, and we only know about his highly classified day job because the official guest list casually mentioned his job title. Major General Wang has a very influential position within China, as the Guard headquarters has thousands of elite troops tasked with protecting the country's top brass and their families. However, it is not until Xi Jinping takes a trip aboard that the true extent of his security needs is revealed. During a visit to Hong Kong in 2017, a massive security blanket covered the area. Parts of the city were locked down as 11,000 police officers did their best to keep the president safe using helicopters and 6-foot-high mobile barricades. Although there is no official data on the number of attempts to end his life, it is said that Xi Jinping is the person with the highest number of attacks in the world. And it is not surprising when we understand that China is the most powerful, populated, and subjugated country on the planet. That means he has a serious number of bodyguards protecting him every step he takes. Furthermore, today, this secret security group uses helicopters and drones to keep the top Chinese leader safe. And they also have a squad of soldiers dedicated to cybersecurity that today has already become a weapon. Vladimir Putin is not only the president of Russia, he is also the most powerful person on the entire planet. And yes, he has in his possession the largest arsenal of nuclear weapons in the entire world, which gives a plus to his importance and therefore to his personal security, which is in charge of an agency known as the Federal Protection Service. But like China, the Russian government doesn't reveal information about this elite agency that protects the number one body, I mean the Russian president and his family. In fact, there is no data on its operations, and few reports are available to the public. It's so secret that for most things, you can only make assumptions. But ultimately, keeping Putin alive for so many years in the presidency makes it clear to us that what they do, they are doing it well. Since Russia is not the friend of the world, it has many external and internal enemies who would be eager to bring down its greatest pillar, the president. What little is known is that for 16 years, the Federal Protective Service was headed by General Jeff Gwenemurov, who, like the Russian leader, emerged from the émigré power structures of the late Soviet period. But several years ago, Putin accepted Murov's resignation and appointed his deputy, Muscovite Dmitry Kokhnev. Sometimes FPS officers dress in black suits with a microphone in their ear, and sometimes they dress in civilian clothes and get lost in the crowd. Only the most trusted work there, and they also protect judges, official witnesses, and official sites such as the Kremlin and the State Duma. The agency has about 50,000 troops and several thousand posing as civilians who control the Cheget, that is, the briefcase with which Vladimir Putin can start a nuclear world war. The agency also does not lack resources to do its job, There is talk that hundreds of millions of dollars are allocated for the president's security. And we talk about the people involved having a range of rights and powers, including the right to conduct searches and warrantless surveillance, make arrests, seize suspicious vehicles, and issue orders to other powerful state agencies. The years have made it clear to us that the Supreme Commander, alias Dictator of North Korea, Kim Jong-Un, is a quite interesting character. North Korea is one of the most controlled societies in the world, but its leader's security is still very intense. During his visit to Singapore in 2018, this video of the North Korean president's car, accompanied by several members of his Secret Service following him closely in a perfectly coordinated trot, went viral. It turns out that Kim Jong-un not only has a few super soldiers watching his back, but he has his own army that is believed to be between 100,000 and 120,000 men. This elite unit is called the Supreme Guard Command, and they essentially serve as Kim's highly trained personal army, which reports directly and completely to him. According to a North Korean defector who served in the security of Kim Jong-il, father of Kim Jong-un, wrote in his 2013 memoirs that up to 6 different layers of security guards protected the leader on his trips to inspect military units, factories, or farms. Furthermore, the defector wrote that it is one of the most tight security blankets in the world, through which a single ant would find it difficult to go through. You should know that each of these men dedicates their entire lives training to be part of the North Korean leader's personal guard. According to testimonies from the North Korean defector, guard recruiters look for new soldiers in schools where students are in line for inspection. Recruits are taken to boot camps for 6 months and are trained for a total of 2 years. Training includes taekwondo classes, defensive shooting, 25-kilometer full-speed marches, and special operations tactics. However, it is believed that the bodyguards seen during presidential visits are not really the elite of the elite. The true protectors are close but not visible, mixed in the shadows and reacting in case of any threat. The happy marriage of the British royal family, Prince Harry and his wife, are without any doubt the most guarded and best protected couple that exists today. It is estimated that the number of people involved in keeping them safe is about 1,000. Yes, 1,000 people who dedicate all their working hours to making sure that nothing can harm them. During their diplomatic trips to other nations, their security personnel are in charge of selecting official residences that have been carefully selected based on security and logistics. During the royal couple's wedding, an estimated $8.7 million was spent, plus another $4.7 million on police services to keep all the guests safe, and that included Queen Elizabeth II. The security team for the wedding supposedly included snipers on rooftops, undercover police placed in the crowd, months of anti-terror investigation, and a search for detonators, since their wedding represented a particular risk due to the Harry's military service in Afghanistan and the threats from anthrax that Meghan already had. However, it wasn't long before Harry and Meghan moved to Throckmorton, an immense mansion about 45 minutes away from London, very close to the famous Windsor Castle, and where they currently care for their son, Archie. According to Katie Nicholl, an expert on the British royal family, the place is basically like a fortress, since it has high-tech cameras and sensors around the entire perimeter.